So let's take a look at example number 1 here. Okay, so A is negative 2h plus 6 is greater than or equal to 10. If we want to graph this out, we have to get the h all by itself. So I'm just going to rewrite it here. Negative 2h plus 6 is greater than or equal to 10. And the first thing that we want to do is get rid of this plus 6. Now the reason we do that again is that this is going to involve dividing, and we don't want to have to divide each piece by negative 2, as it might result in some numbers we don't like, and then we have to put other numbers together. It's just better to do that right at the end. So to get rid of the plus 6, we have to subtract both sides by 6. And that's going to be negative 2h is greater than or equal to 4. Now we're just subtracting, so we keep this symbol exactly the same. Inequality stays the same when we are adding or subtracting. That is not a problem. It's only when we multiply or divide by negative do we have to actually flip it, and that may or may not happen. So we want to get h all by itself again, so we got to get rid of this negative 2. It's multiplying to h, so we need to divide by a negative 2. Now again, dividing by a negative means that we flip the sign. This is going to cancel out, and this becomes positive h. And we flip this sign around, so it becomes less than or equal to 4 divided by negative 2 is negative 2. So this means that h is less than or equal to negative 2. And when we graph that out, we're going to put negative 2 is going to be right here. Negative 1, negative 3, negative 4, and negative 5. Negative 2 we make into a solid dot. And then we put an arrow which goes to the left side as it is less than. The next one here, we have I over 2 is greater than 256. Well, that's a big number, but that's okay. We can deal with that. I'm just going to rewrite this again. 256. All right, now I over 2 means that we are doing I divided by 2. We want to get I all by itself, so we have to do the opposite of dividing. And so this will be multiplying this by 2 and multiplying this by 2. That should be multiplying, not to the power of. That is multiplying. There's not a whole lot of room, so that's why I put it up there. When we multiply something and divide it by 2, it cancels out because it just, again, it equals 1. So we're just left with I all by itself. Now we're multiplying by a positive, so our symbol stays exactly the same. It's still a greater than symbol. And we multiply 256 by 2, which is 512. So we get that I is greater than 512. Big number. We haven't done these before. It's okay. It doesn't matter. We can use big numbers. So we're going to do 512 right there. This is 513, 514, 515, and 511. Just got to make it a little smaller. Put our circle in there. Now it's not filled in because it is not equal to. It's just greater than. And we then put our arrow showing what direction it is going. That is going to our right. Final example here. We have 14 is greater than 3j. Now for this one here, we'll notice the j is on the right hand side. We want to get it to the left, but we'll do that at the end. Don't worry about that till right at the end. Let's first of all get it all by itself. So 14 is greater than 3j. We want to get rid of the 3, so we divide both sides by 3. Cancels out over there, it becomes 1. And we have that j is less than 14 over 3, which is the same as 4 2/3 if you want to do that. 4 2/3 is greater than j. Now, something like this here, we can just flip it around. And if we want to, this is the same as j is less than 4 2/3. Now, you notice the symbol is the opposite direction, but it's still pointing to the j, as the j is the smaller value. And so that's important that we see that and that we use that. And then we graph it out. So 4 is less than 4, or sorry, j is less than 4 2/3. So we're going to put our, now here we can kind of do it either or. Because it's going to be really close to 5, we're going to put it there by 5. 6, 3, and 2. 4 2/3 is going to be right here. So we put 4 2/3 right there. We do an open circle as it does not equal to, and then we make our arrow going down to the left as it is less than that value. And that is it for that one there. And you can work on assignment number 1, the entire thing, which would be questions 1 to 4 on that one page.